Okay, folks. So we've got a style created, and that's great. And I kind of dig the style. I kind of like it. I think it's pretty cool. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at what it looks like in our layer palette. So our layer palette says FX on it, and then underneath it says effects. And there's an eyeball for there, which means we can turn it on and turn it off. And then for each effect, there's another eyeball, so we can turn off what each effect looks like. So you can get a sense of whether or not you like it. So first off, before we go into duplicating, I just want to say, what if you really like this pattern, but you want to see it like more intense? So if you go click on that part of the style, we come back to pattern overlays, and then I can increase the opacity up to 85% and say okay if I want. I'm not going to say okay. I'm going to say cancel because I kind of liked it a little bit more subtle. But these things are live is what I'm trying to get across to you. Now, when you play around with effects, one of the things it does is it really expands your layer palette big time. So there's this little arrow here, and I can click on it, and it can open or close up the effects on my palette. So, that's something to kind of just be aware of. I'm going to start to turn on some of the other ones now. And wow, okay. Big difference, right? Between what that looks like and what that looks like. This just looks like there's so much more there. I'd like to point out that imagine these aren't like funky shapes on a color wheel. Imagine these are things like, I don't know, pieces of text. Or if they are things like, solid objects that are in a poster or something along those lines. And you can see how you can create them so they're way more pleasing to the eye and a lot more interesting looking. So do I have to recall everything? Do I have to write all those numbers and stuff down? The answer is absolutely not. In fact, there's two ways in which we can go ahead and duplicate this. So the first way is by using your key commands in your mouse. So if you hold down the Option key, okay, generally speaking, what that allows for you to do is to copy something as you drag it. So if I roll my mouse over here, over the word effects, and I hold down the Option key and keep that held down, if I click and drag that effects up to shape one copy or the orange one and let go on that with my hand still holding down the Option key, or on a PC the Alt key, watch, when I let go of my mouse, hey, look, it made a second one of those. And that's a quick way to go ahead and duplicate effects. And if you have to do this once or twice, a couple duplications, I say that this is without a doubt the way to go. But if you have got 11 duplications to do, then there's a much smarter choice. So to access that, let's open up our styles again. And over here, I can OK a style, or I can cancel a style if I want to modify it. Then there's this other thing here called New Style. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to call it Color Wheel Effects. And it asks me a couple questions. If I want to include layer effects, and the answer is yes. Yes, we do. Include layer blending options. Yeah, we definitely want to include that too. And then last, add to my current library. Now, if I'm on an educational library, so if I click on that, it's going to take about 40 minutes for it to sync up. So I don't want to do that right now. But if you have your own individual library for Adobe Creative Cloud, if you go ahead and do this, then it will save it to your cloud. So then that way, like if you have, I don't know, Photoshop installed on a laptop somewhere else, you'll be able to pull that down. So I recommend that. I'm just not recommending that for my version right now. So I'm going to say okay to that. And nothing happens. And you're like, oh, I thought it was going to do something, and it didn't do anything. So I guess I'll hit cancel. The reality is it did do something. So if I go ahead and go to Window and go to Styles, there's all those styles there we looked at before. The last one, if I roll over, it's called Color Wheel Effects. There's my style. So check it out. I'm going to click on Shape 1, and I can click Color Wheel Effects. Hey, cool. I'm going to click on Shape 1, Copy 2 here, the yellow one, and then I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and I'm going to click on the last one there. See how I highlight all of these? And with all of them highlighted, I'm going to click on this layer style, and bam. There's my more three-dimensional looking color wheel right now. Now, take a quick look here. See how all of these have stuff going on? It's really expanded that layer palette. That can be tough to see sometimes. So what I recommend doing is this. Highlighting your uppermost layer and then scrolling down to whatever layer, in this case, it would be shape 1, that still has the FX on them or the layer styles. And now I'm going to click right here. And now that collapses all of them at once. Or we can open them all at once or collapse them all at once, and just makes life way easier to work with, working with these things. You can call these things anything you want, by the way. You can call them red, orange, yellow, yellow, green, whatever you want. It's fine. I just keep them called shape 1 and then all the copies. I don't really worry about naming conventions at this point on this assignment. But now I'm going to say save. And that is a quick and easy way to go ahead and apply styles to everything. If you think it looks good, great. If you think it's too much, then you want to take them all off, okay, we can do that too. We can go back to styles, select them. I'll select everything but the red, and I'm just going to hit this one right here, none, or no style. And then I can come back here, and if I feel like, again, like I have too much going on, I can just click on this twice, and I can come in here and I could start to modify my bevels and things like that and change my things around completely. So as you can see, there's a lot of options that you can do when you're working with this stuff. You're not stuck in any means necessary. And you can try something out and you can say okay to it, and then realize, wow, that's just really not what I expected. I thought I'd like that, but I like my other one better. Okay, turn that off, flick your old one back on, because you've saved it as a style now. It's saved into Photoshop, so then that way you can access it again in the future. And this is, again, what this course is going to be about sometimes, kind of programming Photoshop, making it work for us instead of us working for it. Thank you.